Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Ewan Swan, and in this episode I'm going to break down how I made $2,500 in my first month and a half on Amazon FBA. Let's get started. So to start off with, you might be thinking, Ewan, what is Amazon FBA, and did you really actually make $2,500 in your first month and a half on it? Well, to be honest with you, I did make $2,500 in sales. I made approximately a 46% margin on those sales, so somewhere around $700, but that's considering the fact that I am reinvesting all the money that I'm making back into my Amazon FBA business. That's something that you really want to do when you're starting up with a business, and something I can get into in another video if you'd like me to talk about that. So what is this video really going to be about? So I really want to go through how I first found a product for Amazon FBA to sell, how I branded that product to make sure that it was differentiated from the competition, how I sourced that product through Alibaba, and then finally how I actually marketed that product and created a brand position around it and made sure that it was the product that everyone wanted on Amazon, as there are going to be other competitors obviously. So I'll get into that. To begin with, I really want to talk about how I first found my product. So there's this software out there and it's called Jungle Scout, and basically what Jungle Scout does is allow users or customers who buy their actual product to use it and enter in different kind of information, so the sales volume of a typical product, or the reviews that a product has, or the amount of actual sales that the product is doing. So you can filter down basically what kind of product you're looking for based on those criteria, and from that basically Jungle Scout runs its algorithm and then finds different matching products that meet that criteria. So what I did was go through Jungle Scout and use a variation of those different criteria that I just described to you in order to find the perfect product. Now, I'm not going to reveal my product to you, obviously, that would be a bad move on my behalf, but I generally used those criteria which I told you before and played around with them a little bit. I mean, you can say, hey, you know, I'm going to have sales between 200 to 500 units a month. And then your competitor can be like, oh, okay, since everyone's doing that, I'm going to do 200 to 550 a month. And then because they made that slight change, they may actually find a product that you haven't found, and then they can go ahead and start that because it's a really good product. So over the course of a month or so, I was tweaking the different filters that you could use to try and find a product that was just right, something that no one really could compete with me against. And then after about a month and a half, I finally found the right product that I knew could not only sell well, but it was something that I could expand upon, because something that I think is really important, not even just in Amazon FBA, but in business in general, is being able to build a brand around your business. You know, that's what you really want to do. You don't want to just be a products business. I don't know if you've ever seen Shark Tank, but just to give you a good example, you know, sometimes people come on that show and then all they have is a product. They don't really have a brand or a business. So anyone can just come in and then steal your product idea straight away, and then they can build their own brand around that. So what you really want to do is try and find a product that you can build a brand around, because nobody can steal your brand from you. Like, you can protect that. That's who your company is, I guess you could say, as a person. It's your company's personality, so no one can really steal that from you, so to speak. So how did I actually start selling my product on Amazon after I found it? So what I did was I went to Alibaba, which, if you guys didn't know, it's a website that hosts millions of different products that you can source from either India or China, or I think almost anywhere in the Middle East, if I'm going to be quite honest. So you can go there, find the exact product that you want, that you found on Jungle Scout, sorry. So you can go there, and then from there you can start to talk to suppliers who supply the product that you found on Jungle Scout. And once you find a reasonable price for the product that you're looking for, as well as a reasonable number of minimum order quantity, and usually that's between 250 to 500 units for a typical order from Alibaba. Then you can say, okay, yes, I want to go ahead and do this, and then you can begin to actually fulfill that order. Now, you do actually need money to be able to fulfill an order, that's kind of a given. But generally, if you're sourcing a product from China, you're going to be wholesaling that product because it is, like I said, between 250 to 500 units. So usually you can get a product for around $1 to $5 per unit, depending on what kind of product that you're actually going to be selling. So once you start actually getting your product ready to go and your supplier has actually started manufacturing the product, it's time to actually start building your Amazon listing. So what is your Amazon listing? Well, it's basically the same listing that you always see whenever you go on Amazon. You click on a product and then it shows you all the different images, the description of the product, the reviews of the product, and everything else associated with the product. So it's somewhat of a tedious process that you have to go through in order to build that listing, but I can promise you, like, there are plenty of other YouTube videos out there, and then I plan on actually doing like a walkthrough video of actually setting up a listing in the future. So if you're interested, make sure to subscribe so you can see that. But you walk through that process, and at the end of it, after you fill in everything, Amazon says, okay, yeah, everything looks good, you can go ahead and publish. So what you want to do then is make sure that all your product is ready to go from your supplier's end, and generally speaking that'll take a month to a month and a half for that product to get ready, because they need to manufacture all of that product, make sure it's okay to go, pack it, and then ship it. So what you want to do for shipping is actually get them to send it via air if it's a smaller order quantity. So if it's roughly between, like I said, 250 to 500 units, then you want to go with air shipping. If it's anything more than that, that's when you really are actually starting to have a really bigger business. You want to go with sea shipping because the sea shipping costs are a lot lower than the air shipping costs. So once you figure all your shipping out, then you can make sure that your product is actually being sent to the correct location, because you're not going to be sending it to your home address. I'm pretty sure you wouldn't want 250 to 500 units of a random product just sitting like in your garage or in your bedroom even. So what you're going to do is actually send it to an Amazon fulfillment center, and that's basically just an Amazon warehouse where Amazon themselves fulfills the order, and you don't have to essentially really do anything. The only thing you need to do is market and advertise the product, make sure that your branding is consistent throughout all your products as you start to build up that product line. So don't worry about not knowing where you're going to be sending your product at first, because as you start to build your listing and actually say, okay, Amazon, I'm going to have this amount of product coming in from my supplier, they will supply you with an address, and you'll be giving that address to the Alibaba supplier, and then they'll take care of the shipping. Generally, for at least for my product, it was overall around $200 to ship roughly 300 units over from China. So you'll have to consider that in your profitability analysis when you're actually doing product research as well. But after that, your product is pretty much ready to go. Like I said, the only thing that you really need to do is make sure that you're doing the proper marketing and advertising for that product. So there's multiple different streams that you can go down for this. There's Facebook advertising, there's Instagram advertising, and then there's actually a local method of advertising which a lot of Amazon sellers use, which is Amazon pay-per-click advertising. It's essentially the same thing as Facebook advertising. You go in, they have their own little platform, and you say, okay, my product is this. Anyone searching for these keywords, basically your product is going to show up, and you can say, okay, I want to bid, say for example, $3 on a bike tire, for example. That's just an example. You can say, okay, anyone searching bike tire on Amazon, my product is going to come up. But there are going to be competitors who are selling bike tires, obviously, who are going to bid on that keyword as well. So whoever has the highest bid will show up in the Amazon listing when someone searches bike tire. So that's just Amazon pay-per-click advertising, but like I said, there's Facebook advertising and then Instagram influencer advertising and marketing. I don't really want to talk about those right now because those are more in-depth topics that I can't really just brush through really easily. But again, like I said, you can subscribe and then I will be talking about those in future videos as well. So going back to Amazon pay-per-click advertising a little bit, when you first start off, you may not know exactly what keywords you should be targeting against, but as you start to begin to sell product, you can see, okay, my customers are actually searching for this search term or this search phrase, and then you can go in, and Amazon actually has in their advertising platform, they have this ability to download the search term report. So you can download that report from their platform and then from there say, okay, my customer is searching this, I'm going to create a new manual advertising campaign and then enter in all these search phrases that my customers have searched that relate to what my product is, and then I can create a new campaign off of that. And that's what I've done, and so far that's worked for me a heck of a lot better than saying, okay, I think my customer is going to search for this, so I'm going to bid on this keyword. So yeah guys, that's pretty much a quick run through of how Amazon FBA works. I've currently got one product up on Amazon FBA, and like I said, I've done $2,500 in sales over the past month and a half. Now that's only 1.5 months guys, like seriously. And I have multiple other products that I'm going to bring onto the Amazon FBA platform and then build from there. I mean, the sky's the limit. You can continue to find products that associate with your brand and continue to sell those, make sure the listings are optimized, make sure that advertising is really good, and you can honestly just sit back and then collect the sales, collect the profit, and let Amazon really do the work, so to speak. Now, you have to actually put in the work up front. You're essentially planting a seed, so to speak, and making sure that seed grows. Make sure you're tending to it every day, water it, do what you need to in order to make sure that that seed grows into basically a money tree almost, that you're tending once a month, maybe 5 times a month at most, once that actual product is up and running and the advertising and the branding and everything that goes along with that is as good as it can be, so to speak. So if you're interested in anything that I've been talking about today, I'm going to include the Jungle Scout link so you can begin to go through the process of actually looking at, okay, do I want to maybe get into Amazon FBA? I'm going to actually try and find a product first. I'll include that as a link. I'll also include a link to a video that walks through how you want to set up your Amazon FBA account. This is going to be a link to someone else's video. I'm not going to make any money from that. It's just like another video, but in the future I may make a video that's more personal for me on that subject. Apart from that, I'll just include my social media links down below as well. And apart from that, I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching and have a good one. Bye.